Hi everyone, it's Ardith, and I'm here today with a pretty wedding card for this week's Muse Card Club. Anita gave us a pretty peachy inspiration, and I focused on her colors and floral theme. I started with a background cling stamp from MFT, roses all over. I took the mouse pad out of my original size MISTI so that there would be space for the thick cling stamp. In order to get an all-over background, I used repositional adhesive to stick my cardstock to the MISTI base. I inked up the stamp with Wow clear embossing ink, making sure it was covered well so that the embossing powder will stick to these fine, delicate rose outlines. I gave it 2 coats just to be sure. I used sweet mango embossing powder. It has a bit of shimmer in it, but no sparkle. I sprinkled the powder onto the panel over top of some scratch paper. That's a pretty simple method of getting the powder back into the bottle. I placed the card panel in a shoebox lid lined with foil so that I didn't have to hold it while I was heating it. I was at a bad angle and trying to keep my head out of the shot, so I couldn't see the powder melt properly, and I overheated my paper a bit in the top right corner. You'll see how I fix this in a couple of minutes. Next, I added some color to the rose centers with Catherine Pooler polished ink and a sponge dauber. I kept the color quite pale so that it would be pretty and delicate. Once I finished with the polished ink, I moved on to Shea butter to give some variation in color between the yellow and the coral shades. Did you keep an eye on that top right corner? As I filled in the color, the crispy section of my panel was covered, and you couldn't tell where I had gotten a bit too enthusiastic with my heat gun. I chose a die-cut Celebrate for my sentiment. I started by cutting 3 of them out of white cardstock so that I could build some dimension. This is a great way to get your sentiment to stand out on a busy background. I coated one of them with the embossing ink, and then I sprinkled Oyster Glintz powder over. This powder gives a shimmery, pearly finish in a warm, creamy shade. Once that was melted, I set it aside to cool, and I glued the other 2 layers together using the new Fawn glue tube. This is my first time using it. It's easy to get out of the tube, and the tip is very small and precise. Once the bottom die cut was coated, I placed the next layer on top and wiggled them around a bit to get them lined up. Then I laid an acrylic block over top while the glue set. I repeated the process with the pearly top layer. This gave me 3 layers in total, and it makes my sentiment quite sturdy with lots of dimension. To trim the panel, I used a large stitched rectangle from Blueprints 25. This rectangle is the exact size of an A2 card, and it gives a nice finished look to the edges. To finish the card, I added some sequins in a soft rose gold. They were a freebie from Concord and 9th quite a while ago, and they add the perfect touch of shine. I hope you enjoyed this video. Supply lists are below and on my blog. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.